What up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And this is the other wrestling show of the Tuesday Night War yesterday. And this is AEW Title Tuesday, a special of Dynamite, where we saw plenty of matches and some very cool moments. And also like some build up to their upcoming pay-per-view Wrestle Dreams, which yes sir and ma'am, this is the go home edition of the show. And also we're gonna be seeing a lot of very intriguing stuff, like some very cool matches, like especially the match in the main event and right before the main event. And also we got got like a little bit of an update, like with one of the matches, which it was like in the middle, and that was the number one contender match for the AEW Women's World Championship with one of the contenders not being there. So Anthony Khan thought it would be a good idea to add in three women to replace this particular wrestler. And also we got and then we got a potential of a potential I mean, we got a split up from a current AEW alliance. So yeah, we're gonna be exploring everything today, but we're gonna start off with John Moxley. We're gonna talking to like. And this is where he he had a whole lot to say to the American Dragon Bryan Danielson in his backstage promo. This is where he's like, yeah, nobody had the Constitution to do it for him, and no one could ever tell, and he's like, and the person got to be me here that's got to do it. He's like, it's gonna be some kind of a wake up call for AEW, and this is the real word, Brian. Nothing lasts forever. Like, you don't pick the day. It's not a fairy tale, bro. And then he added saying, like, all these people that's in the they're just living in the fantasy land, playing with the and their figmatism of their imagination. Like, and Saturday night, they're gonna see the reality and the truth. And yeah, of course, there is gonna be a matter of the dark side. Like Brian does it. Most people don't understand. See, in this element, in this ring, doing what he's put there to do. The American Dragon, and then there's the thing, and then that dragon is gonna be doing the corner, poking, prodding, and provoking, to become something that is truly terrifying. He's like, but Brian's have never been that truly comfortable, when you. And that's gonna be far from him, right now. And then when this door closes, in this last remaining light in this business, it probably does it well embrace that dark side, and I'm gonna like every single bit of it, and I'll be absolutely ready and prepared for it too. And I have to, that. I don't have no much of a choice if I'm trying to prove my statement and become the AEW World Champion at the same time. He's like. Again, there's no anybody in this place in this very state of Bryan Danielson's home can stop me from what volatile act I'm gonna do to the American Dragon. And then this is where then he added saying, yeah, here you go, come in this. There's two and he's like, and that's where he took a quote from the Bible, said, "No weapon formed against me." But except for the part where it said, shall prosper. But this is where he said, but he had to say, but he said, he's gonna vow to run, in the mountain, and then he's gonna decide he's gonna make sure he try to stay down and make sure he stay down, and he say and if there's any life of his body, he might as well stay down while he can, and also run while he can, and when he has the chance as well, because his journey as a world champion is going to be going downhill in the next 4 days, because it was Tuesday, Wednesday, of course. This is what John Moxley's like. Yeah, don't take nothing personal. It has to be this way. He's like, this takes the 2 hours. This is where he knocks over the chair he was leaning on, like if he's the Tommaso Ciampa of AEW. But it's where then we got it's where we do them hyping matches up. This is where then Brian Danielson got up onto the interview booth. Like normally where Renee Paquette interviews the AEW wrestlers, but this is where it was what I heard. He just went right up on it and let John Moxley know like what exactly going to be doing to his boys tonight. And then this is where then he was like and then this is where Brian Danielson then pointed out like that Claudio Castagnoli was recently in an interview with Sports Illustrated, and I was like, hey, I saw that. I just saw that right like hours before the show even came on the air, and I even talked about that on my wrestling news video yesterday. And that's where then Brian Danielson mentioned that he said that this could be Danielson's final match, like as an active in-ring competitor. Yes, it could be his last match, like right before he loses the title at Wrestle Dreams, like assuming that it is. That's where he's like, but this is where Brian Danielson's like, but here's the thing, like this will not be my last match, and me and Willa Yuta are gonna run over the two of you, like, and then on Saturday at Wrestle Dreams, like Mox, like you're gonna be meeting your fate, like, and he's like, and listen, like Claudia, like I got support you, like for 20 years, like he's like, and for the last 20 years, I've been your friend, like, and. A 20 whole year, like I've been supporting you, like in every company you work together with, like which two of them we all know what he was talking about. But this is where then Brian Danielson's like, yeah, like tonight there's not gonna be no support. Like it's only gonna be me, like you and Sparkston, Washington. Like, well, I'm gonna kick your freaking head in. Well, he didn't stop say freaking. But this is where then we got But this is where we got Darby Allin who came in. But this is where we got Darby Allin. We went right inside the spokesfolk Washington, like, and he got the spokesfolk Washington crowd, and then this is where then he was calling out Brody King. Like Brody King, like get your ass out here right now, and then it took long. Like it took actually barely 5 seconds right after Darby Allin. I'll call him out. This is where Brody King came out here. He's like, okay, I'm out here. Like, what do you want? Like, and it's starting to get more common with wrestlers. Like ever since Simon Miller mentioned it, like that they come out immediately. Like when they're backstage, they go like they follow the rules on 1408. But it's where you got Darby Allin like yeah, like I appreciate you. Like he said, like I appreciate you accepting my open challenge for Wrestle Dreams this Saturday. But even though you could have asked very nicely, though, like you didn't have to attack me, but I know what you're doing when you did it. I know exactly what you're doing. Like, remember years ago we were in the independent scene and we used to stay in these crackhead motels, and he's like, we always talk all night, and this is like, and this is where they start discussing. Let's hope this all be worth it. Well, like it must have been worth it because they're definitely they're one of the top two most popular company in all the PW. But this is where then we got Darby Allin didn't say like, yeah, I remember that, man. Like you were so nervous because you had your first kid on the way. Like you did not know where your career was going to head. And he's like, I remember every single thing from that day. And the thing is, years later, I was hired by AEW. Like, and I remember you call me every single week, Darby, buddy. Like AEW look amazing. I wish you were, and I wish you were here too. Like I wish you were here at ROH, and then this is where Darby Allin didn't admit that he wished that Brody King was there at the time. Like, but that was like in the next couple of years, like before we saw him in this company. But this is where it's like, but he was at Ring of Honor at the time. But like Ring of Honor eventually shut down, and nobody didn't knew. And he's like, and nobody hardly knew about what ROH was, and I was like, yeah, like I barely knew what it was before Tony even bought it out, like just by looking on the internet. But anyways, this is where Darby Allin then said that this was before Tony Khan bought him out, which was also true. This is where he was like, nobody knew what was your future. You were out of the job, like with 2 kids. And you know what I did? Like I called Mr. Anthony Khan, and I was keep begging him and demanding to hire you, Brody King. I was telling him, hire Brody King. Please hire Brody King. And then guess what? He did. And this is where fans started clapping, like, yeah, like, thank you, Darby. And this is where Darby, I was like, and guess who got you the job here? Like, yep, you guessed it. It was me. Like, I'm the reason why you got a job here. Like, and he's like, but the thing is, you don't take this for granted, though. Just like me. Like, I don't take anything for this for granted either. Like, but dude, we're so much alike. Think of it. Only thing different is we don't have the same size, but we are alike when it comes to our careers. Like you're like you help your dad retire. Like I helped my dad retire. He's like. And then this is where then he continues saying, like, you bought your family a house. All thanks to you being an AEW. Like, but the problem is, you want my spot. You want what I have. Like, what I have. Like, I am the face of this company, like, entirely, without being AEW World Champion. He's like, and here else the thing is, like I was he's like, I was one of the guys that was not supposed to make it in this industry, but thanks to AEW, like, I made it here. And I was like, yeah, how it's so inspiring, and then partially the reason why is thanks to the current undisputed champion that's over in the other company in the American Nightmare, and if it wasn't for him, like, who knows where his future would have headed. But anyway, but he all thanks to seeing his talent, which I got to see what he saw into Darby, but we're gonna get into that for another day. But this is where Darby Allin continue saying, like. And talk to, and I get ready, I did talk shows, radio hosting, and stuff like that. Like I did, like to get where I am today. And this is where then Bro T, all right, stop it right there. Like, yeah, you right on one thing. Like you do have everything that I want. Like he's like, but the difference is, Darby, like I don't take it for granted. And this is where then this where he's like, and we all know, like, you have a death wish, with one of them being that you want to climb Mount Everest so badly, like, and it's like, what happens if you do climb that mountain, like, and you don't come back, and you're up in that mountain, and if you're still on that mountain dead, and he's like, and your father had to go get another job, make ends meet, And he's like, and you don't take it for granted, like at the end of the day, you actually do take it and you need somebody to save you from your save. And this is what Darby, I was like, oh yeah, if you think all that, if you want me out of my, you want to put me out of my misery, why don't you do it right now? Why we need to wait till Saturday? Do it now. Like, I want you to do it right here, right now. Like, dude, take my spot. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna meet you halfway on it. This is where he was laying, like, basically trying to kill himself, like with Brody King hitting him with his signature cannonball. This is where he started mocking him with the barking noise. Like, look, I'm mocking you. I'm pretending to be you, Brody. He's like, come on, put me out of my misery. Like, yeah. Put me out of commission or something like that. That's probably better term to use. This is where Brody King's like, all right, like, get your pathetic ass up. Like, this is where then he was like, get up, like, enough of these fun and games. Like, this is where then Darby Allin took a page out of John Cena's playbook back 12 years ago when he did to Brock Lesnar and just hit him with a very provoking slap right across his face. But this is where Brody King hit a right hand to the face of Darby Allin, then pick him up, put him in a sleeper. But this is where Darby Allin hits him in the face with this rock that he found on the ground. That's where he picks it right back up when he got off of him. He laid him out right face first. That's where right before they can even get more physical with one another, just where luckily that we got the security and the paramedics were there to help out, like to stop out this with this very brutal impact. But this where the damage has been done with Brody King with his mouth was bleeding because he did hit him so hard with that rock. This is where Brody King's like, you asked for it. And then at Wrestle Dreams, I'm going to take everything away from this. Where Darby Allin's like, if you can ever take it from me or something like that. And this is where then Brody King didn't walk out of there. This is where then we got Renee Paquette had Jake the Snake Roberts and Lance Archer in this backstage interview. And I was very stunned and shocked that Jake Roberts was back very soon, despite what we saw despite what we saw with Don Callis teasing him adding Lance Archer into the Don Callis family. But yeah, this is where we got Renee Paquette asking questions about that, saying like, and what required is the maneuver. Remember, this where, but it's where before Jake Roberts can even answer any of Renee's questions, he allowed somebody else do it for him, and there's none other than Don Callis himself. And I was like, oh, like, did this mean that they had some kind of agreement or something? Because why else that he allowed him to speak? This is where Don Callis came in and he was like, that's all I don't mean anymore. Like, yeah, it's great to see you always. Like, it's very excited for the Don Callis family because Mr. Roberts and I has completely made did a first ever management like talent like a management talent exchange in the history of this company, and then this where and it and that's where then Renee Paquette, okay, congratulations on the gain of Lance Archer, but who did you exchange like with to Jake Roberts, and what does this mean like with the Don Callis family? Most importantly, like we're gonna be talking about a little bit later, which we're gonna be talking about right here. With Will Ospreay's gonna be in that in-ring interview. This is where Don Callis like, yeah, I'm not sure if I can answer the second question, but I do like Will Ospreay, and I would like to hear what he has to say tonight. Like, but the but like I can answer your probably your first question. Secondly, like I got some very I got some very exciting I got some very exciting what's that called business to discuss with Lance Archer in my room or office, like that we would call it, I should say. He was like, come over here, like Lance, and this is where he shook hands. And he was like, it was one hell of a run that he had with the legendary Snake Master. This is where then Renee Paquette was wondering, like she was curious, and she was like Don Cal didn't answer my question about who did what talent did he exchange for you to gain Lance, and this was like what you got out of this. This where Jake Roberts like this where he's like what I get like out of this exchange, like you like surprises, right, Renee? She was like, absolutely, I do. And like, sure. This where the Jake Roberts like, so do I. So you gonna have to wait later on. And this is where we found out after this match that was up and coming, and that was none other than the Commander with a K and Hologram. Then we were going to see who exactly did what's his name, Don Callis exchange to gain what's his name to gain the Murder Hawk monster. But we got the match. It was totally was good, which I think it totally got the low key, I'll tell you, got the blue ribbon of the night, of the fourth place spot of the match of the night. But it's where we got Renee Paquette was outside next, like before we do get the match, and it was with Daniel Garcia. But she was like, "There's a lot to talk about, like all over the community, like about like if we're gonna be staying here or not, like in AEW, like." She was like, I must ask you what's going on. This is where Garcia immediately answers, like, Renee, as much as I would like to give you the answer right here, right now, like, I got to tell everybody else, like, tell myself inside that ring. And that's where then Renee Paquette was like, all right, fine with me. And then she was like, and she said, good to see you. This is where Daniel Garcia said the same right back to her. This is where then we got, this is where then we got, but next up we have, we do get the match, which totally good. Blue ribbon of the night. They've been start doing these very impossible moves to one another, and I was like, and I was thinking like, I just love these occasional lucha libre style matches, like, and this is what AEW is great for. Even though like nowadays, in the other company, they're allowing some of their, or if not most of their wrestlers to do their own style of wrestling maneuvers, but that's a different story for a different day. This is where we got, but Hologram, after he got arm dragged by Commander at the beginning, this is where he go for an arm drag of his own. He went to the left side. This is where then we got, what's his name? Must have gave him a spelling lesson like every other wrestler, because they got his name confused with him being illiteracy, I guess you could say. This is where then, that's where then, that's where then, that's where then he hit a sunset flip. That's where then we got, But this is where Commander of the K reminded him that you know how to spell, and it's obviously like just his nickname. This is where he trips him right over. This is where then he try to go for an up kick. I mean, I'm try to go, but I mean, no, he go for an elbow drop. But this is where then he gets up kicked. This is where we got Commander to try to go for grab onto his leg, but he never get up. But this is where Hologram try to go for a pin. But this is where we got Hologram right out of it. This is where we got. This is where Hologram started doing the shaking emotions, like if he's a lucha. This is where he was like a lucha version of Bryan Danielson. This is where then we got this is where it started going for an arm drag, and start going for a twisting upward and under. This is where they spin around. This is where we got him flipping what's the name, Commander with a K up. This is where he always flipping right to the right side. This is where we got Hologram go for a kick, go for a backflip. This is where it goes for a flying head scissor. Then he turned into an arm drag. This is where we got. This is where Irish whipped him right to the right side. This is where then we got Commander with a K, hit a suicide dive right onto Commander. This is where they both were down. This is where but Commander managed to bring him right. I mean, Hologram bring Commander right back inside. That's where he picks up the Lucha with a K, with pick him right up. Bounce him right to the left side. Irish whip him to the right side. This is where he goes for a pop-up flapjack. But then this is where he followed that up with a super kick. This is where he tried to go for a pin. But this is where Aubrey Edwards count to 1 and count to 2. But this is where we got Commander kicking out at 2.3. This is where we got Hologram to start flipping right over. This is where he got him in the leg, like in the leg twisting maneuver. And this is where he twists his legs right onto his leg. This is where he start. This is where he slide right back down with his arms crossed. This is where he got his leg locked in. This is where then we got. This is where we got. This is where we got. What's his name? Commander with a K. Then trying to go like a backslide once he was doing the submission move where he had his back onto his. This is where we got him trying to go. But this is where a Hologram then try to hit his version of a backslide. But this is where Commander was like, "Oh no, you don't!" Like I'm already halfway there. But this is where we got Hologram go for. Try to go for another reversals or try to hit a go for a suplex. That's where he only got a 2 count though. Unfortunately, when he tried to go for a cover, that's where Hologram tried to go for a couple other offensive maneuvers. But this is where. That's where we got what's his name was fighting back. What's his name? Commander. But it's where he made a big mistake when he went up right to the bottom left corner side turnbuckle, top turnbuckle, because it's where we got Hologram hit this reverse Russian leg sweep and face plant that looked like a Spanish fly mixed with a skull crushing finale maneuver. That's where then we got This is where them fans are chanting. That says awesome. That says awesome. I would have given it at least the 3rd place spot if it wasn't for the number 1 contender, man. Which I'm not blaming it. I'm saying like it's for the facts like that was getting a little more better. But this match is totally getting the blue ribbon of the night. But this is where you got a 450. But this is where Commander with a K got the knees up. This is where then he rolled out of the way. This is where we got That's where they got Commander with a K, then start walking right up on the top rope. That's where he started doing he got a cat-like balance, but this is where we got Commander nearly got intercepted when Hologram went right back up right on the apron and springboard right into the left corner side ropes. But then that's where he tried to go for a sliding hurricane right off the top of the top corner ropes. But this is where he got intercepted and Commander power bombed him like up in midair, like 10 feet in the air, which I would never think I would saw. This is where fans are like, "Oh my G," and then this is where there's like, and they continue to this awesome chance. This is where then we got Commander with a K and spin around. This is where then we got what's his name, Commander. Then hit the forearm strikes right into the face. But this is where we got Hologram and fought right back, hit a forearm right back at the luchador with the K. This is where they start playing wrestling. They're playing what they call wrestling tennis. Nobody not know who to root for because they're both baby faces. This is where they're like woo woo. And until we got, I believe Hologram won. This is where he then hits what they call a springboard moonsault, turned into like a power slam maneuver or atomic drop. But this is where but before we can even know what movie he's gonna actually hit, but this is where like he got Commander hit this very painful looking poison Rana right out of nowhere, like more than the RKO, I guess you could say. This is where we got that's where we got Commander, but this is where Commander they got hit with his own move by Hologram, because that's technically his move as well, which it was also out of nowhere, more than the RKO from the other channel that we saw when the Viper hit the bouncy OG. This is where we got that's where he hits head first right on, driven into the canvas. This is where we got what else happened? It was but let's continue. But let's see what ended the match. It was that spinning. It was that reverse fireman's carry to a looked like a blue thunder bomb, but better, which Simon probably would be saying like on this ups and downs video today. But yeah, he got the uno dos tres. Like, and I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but just saying like, because he'd probably take that as a compliment as long as not being respectful to him. But yeah. But I hope that's the case. But yeah, but the point is, he did got the victory, and then he did. And then before he even got a chance to celebrate it, this is where he went and saw Jake Roberts right on the stage. This is where he won. Like, this is where he thinks that he thinks that I'm like the exchange that do you really think that I'm the guy that he gained like in this management and this manager exchange, talent exchange, this manager talent exchange. That's what it's called. But yeah, but no, it was he didn't die, but it was not hologram. But let's just say like it was the guy that was the guys with a capital plural that I was about to come out there and try to take him out, and that was none other than the likes of Bruce and what's his name, and Jellico, and what's his name, and Beast Mortos. Yeah, that's who it was. And they beat the ever loving sugar honey iced tea out of them, and I was like, poor the luchadors, like, because not only they attacked and brutally assaulted the hologram, they did the same with Commander with a K, like with them beating them in a 2-on-3 beatdown, and they knew that if it was all three of them, like to come out there while they can, like they will have a chance and have the advantage. But what is your thoughts onto this exchange, like from Don Callis, like with him like being technically a Don Callis member, Mr. Roosh was like, so that would make sense that he would exchange him for Lance Archer along with his brother and what's his name, and like Julistico, and what's his name, Julistico and Beast Mortos, because these are part of what's his name, Roosh's faction. And now that they have Jake Roberts, it's going to be very intriguing, and the future is absolutely bright for the faction. And where do you think we're just going to be heading into, like, now that Jake Roberts is back? And I'm glad that he's back from his critical health issues that he's been dealing with. But in the interview that I just talked about on my wrestling news a few days ago, it seemed like that his recovery was a success in some capacity. But so he remains healthy as much as he can. And he did say that he's been sober from the last 12 years, which I believe that he said from the last dozens of years. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next slide. We got Daniel Garcia coming out up next, because he wanted to address like what's his future is like in AEW. That's where he went on the microphone and started off saying, "Hello, guys, and it's for folk Washington," and this is where it's like I haven't seen you like in weeks, like, because I've been sitting at home for a while. And I was like, don't feel bad, because I've seen a couple other wrestlers, and one in particular has done the same since AEW All Out until 7 days ago. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. But this is where Daniel Garcia was like, he was like, Like I needed this ovation, and I appreciate that. As their fans started chanting "Welcome back" to him, and he totally loved that the most. But this one, he was like, and then he's like, I also want to thank you guys for that, but I also want to thank Anthony Khan for this moment, for this time for me. And he didn't even have to give his time because he only had a small limited amount of time. For anything, and this word, then he was like, but I still want to thank him for that anyway. Let me do what I have to do, what I gotta do. Okay, Mr. Khan is where then he said what he needed to do. He was like, but when I was sitting at home, when I was sitting and contemplating, I got so many concrete things, and I just trying to think, what's best for me in my life, and what is best for me, and that's where he didn't express. And this where then he gave out the answer, what exactly is his future in his wrestling career. And he was like, and he was like, in this, but before he gave out the answer though, he's like, it's not. He will let everybody know this is not always the easy answer, and it's not the most popular either. But before he can even get into what he said, this is where a fan said he loves him, and this is where he told the fan that he loved them as well. This is where that's where then he start rubbing his chin a bit, and that's where his thing is that he don't want to be a guy that follows through on his words, that don't follow through on his words, and then he doesn't be the guy that just disappears and then just leave with no explanation, which he's giving out a clarified reference to the former guys that used to wrestle in AEW, and guess what? Where they're at? Dun dun dun. Well, I'm not gonna get into the name, at least not at this time. But it's where we got Daniel Garcia then start wiping his beard, and this was so I was just I thought I might come out here. I can look at all of you in the eyes, I look at everybody in the home in the eyes, even though I can't see their eyes right now, but I can see them right through this lens, which I'm not sure if that made any sense, but yeah, you get the point. He's letting them know that he knows that you're watching at home. But this is where then Daniel Garcia, but he thought he came into the conclusion that Daniel Garcia could do whatever he wants because Daniel Garcia is one of the best professional wrestlers and all over the industry. This is where then Daniel Garcia yeah. And and the thing is, I feel that he is one of the most professional wrestlers in the world. That it's only gonna be right, that he stayed in the company, and yes, sir, he did clarify that he did resign with the AEW company. That's good news, and he did it with this subliminal message by saying I want to stay somewhere that's the best wrestlers wrestle in, and that is AEW itself. And he's like, why should he leave? When he should continue what he's doing. And he's like, and I'm staying here where the best wrestle is, and that is AEW. That's where then. And he's like, I'm back, and I'm gonna be better than ever. And no, I don't think he was referencing Eric Bischoff, unless he was to take a shot at him for given that he always criticized what Anthony Khan does in his AEW booking perspectives. But anyway, this is where we got Daniel Garcia he was like, this Daniel Garcia is not gonna be the same goofy Daniel Garcia that only knows about his dancing. Even though you're gonna probably see plenty of more of that, but no, that's not the only thing you're gonna be seeing with him. I'm not gonna be but I'm gonna be not the Daniel Garcia that's the little bro in the back. And also I'm not. And I'm about Daniel Garcia is the guy that cries and complains in every match. And it's the same Daniel Garcia that build the future on the back of. This is the Daniel Garcia that representing everybody in the back. And this is the Daniel Garcia that starts changing everything that AEW has. And that starts with gold around my waist. And then this is where then he's then asked everybody, this is everybody, that's a shot at everybody in the back. And everybody who has a chance to me. And that's a lot of you guys. He's like you're not safe, and I'm coming for what y'all got. The feeling is restored. And I was like, I hope you go for one title in particular, which some tell me that he will. And I'm hoping that he could be the one to hold the championship. But if not, I'm not going to complain too much about it because I know there's another guy that could be the one to dethrone this particular champion. But that's where Daniel Garcia started doing this dance a little right off on top. But the fans start trying to touch him. This is where we got even the security guard. Like that was that's also the bouncer at private parties, locker room parties. Like this is where he started giving them a pretty cool handshake. This is where he started waving a high five to the fans right until he got up on the stage. This is where then he took off his jacket. This is where we got Daniel Garcia started doing his dancing pose. This is where. But this is where we got what's his name? But it's where we got what's his name? Excalibur then said, like, let's see what Swerve Strickland has been up to from the last few weeks, like since AEW All Out. This is where they showed him what he's been doing, and that was training and making a difference, trying to get back. And this is where it was true what Prince Nana said. Like he's not like quite there yet, but he's working his way up, like, and he's like already halfway. That's where they showed him in these training videos in the gym, like along with the audio of with MVP, like MVP's voice you could hear in the background saying like he saw what Swerve been doing, like he's been like the company's top champion for the last like 4 months, like, and he's been doing some wonderful performances and his title defenses. But he's the best wrestler that stepped foot in this all elite ring, and this is where he did. But I also saw like his 24 championship will forever be studied by future generations in this business. I don't see that. But that's not the thing. That's the failure of Swerve Strickland. Like I see that as the failure on his management, and this is where he pointed to Prince Nana that they show from that segment. That's where he was like, and this is where and he sent it like he's ready to send back, and he's like, give me like let him know that I'm interested, like and that's where they showed. And that's where they showed MVP and Shelton Benjamin backstage onto that interview booth where the monitor was at. This is where they watched it on there. This is where MVP started grinning and clapping a round of applause of that masterpiece of that vignette. And this is where Shelton Benjamin started nodding his head like in a smile of his own. This is where we move on to the next slide. We got. This is where we got a backstage interview, like with Renee Paquette in a backstage interview with the CEO before her match, and that is Mercedes Moné with her bodyguard, the Brick House, Camille. This is where they start off with obviously the double champion. This is where she was like, and this is where then she's like, yeah, she's horrible from like what she did it last week. This is where then. And and this is where the Renee Taylor, okay, like this is your first ever double title defenses against Emmy Sakura at tonight's title Tuesday, and then this is where she's like, and Emmy had some very strong words for you, like on Twitter, like at her. Twitter or X, whatever they like to call it. This is where the CEO herself then respond back. She was like some strong words on Twitter, like "oh please," like yeah, like everybody wanted to tweet out me, like everybody wanted to jump on the money train. And I was like, yeah, that's true. I seen it for myself on all her socials. Like I did not know she had this much fans. Like, but I mean, she is a grappling megastar, so of course, like they're gonna be like knowing her and being a humongous fan of the CEO, of course. But this is where Monet then also added saying, like, yeah, she said I don't respect her. Like, oh please, like I got all the respect for the world for what the hell is she talking about? I was like, yeah, like she obviously haven't seen you said anything nice to her before. Obviously, that's because she have missed all the times where she gave her respect, like into those like in interviews, and then even on her Monet magazine, digital magazine, I should say. She even gave her respect by praising her performances, like because she said she's seen her a couple times before in All Elite Wrestling, which AEW should make her a future champion one day. But this is where then we got the CEO said. Yeah. And this is where she started laughing. Like, yeah, this is the first time that And she was like, yeah, like, this is not the first time, and it's definitely not going to be the last time. Like, and that's where then she was like, and that's where she's like, yeah, because money changes everything, which is that's starting to be a very catchy catchphrase of the CEO. And hopefully I'm not saying her nickname a bit too much, but this is where then she was like, thank you and have a good night, Renee. And just start doing her very funny maniacal laugh. She elbow strike the microphone out of her hand with Camille like like bowing down to her, which I don't know. But she dropped down low and did right back up. I don't know what that even meant, which I was dying with laughter. This is definitely getting goofy wrestling of the night award. This is where we got Daniel Garcia was hugging and high fiving the likes of Private Party and his former Jericho Appreciation Society teammate Anna Jay. This is where then high five Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, Cole Cabana, and even even did the same with what's his name, the wrestler, what's his name, the wrestler Katsuyori Sabata. This is where then he's like, he was like, I'm totally happy that you're staying in All Elite Wrestling. Like, I wrestle dream, I get the TNT title will be around the waist of the wrestler, like, which I hope he does win and be the one to dethrone the scapegoat that love crying people rivers. But anyways, yeah, this is where then we got him handshake. He did the handshake with Daniel Garcia and that little side hug. This is where Daniel Garcia was like, look at our future TNT champion. But it seemed like I was about to say another mid-card championship, but and much more in the women's division. I don't know what's in my head right now. But anyway, this is where we got the that's where we got the number one contenders women's championship match, and that is the Willow Nightingale, but unfortunately, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, was not due to some inconvenient reasons, which I don't know what's it is in particular, but I do wish her all my positivity of making a return to All Elite Wrestling, despite this setback. Whether if it's her not, she did not get a chance, and they had to change it to the likes of Nyla Rose, replace it with the likes of three other former AEW Women's World Champions like Nyla Rose. Who else was in there? It was Nyla Rose, Soraya, and Jamie Hayter, the three former other AEW Women's Champions. But we do get the match. This is where we got That's where we got That's where we got this is where the Soraya did run out of there once the bell rung. This is where Jamie Hayter's like, why you're going out here when you're supposed to be in here in this Fatal 4 match? Like, it's not like I'm easily going to squash you. And this is where then Soraya had nothing to say in response other than say, you stupid gal, like, you gotta go get me. Like, you're not gonna lay a single finger on me. And then this is where then Jamie Hayter's like. Right, but I don't see why you want to walk out of here. It's not like it's just the two of us, only just rather than just being the four of us, adding with Willow and Nyla in the ring, and this is where she's regardless, you're not gonna easily get squashed, and I can see that that's a simple fact. Like, even dominant girls like me cannot even win so quickly in a multi-woman match, and this is where she was like, okay, you can stay right here and make this a triple threat match. This is where Jamie Hayter will start beating both big girls up at the same time. And hopefully I didn't sound insulting, but I'm saying they're both buffy and beefy, if that's a compliment, if I give to them. But yeah, they she was knocking them down if she was 3 times their size, hitting them face first on their respective turnbuckles, with Willow on the bottom right side, and then she went after Nyla Rose on the bottom left side. That's where then we got her to continue start stomping onto the to the native beast, and this is where the referee's like, all right, not too much now, and this is where Jamie is like, okay, but this is not a not a DQ match, but I think it was a rope break, so he had to give eventually a break. This is where she gave her a fair shot. This is where it was too much of a fair shot, because it's where Nyla Rose picks her right up, put her right up on the top turnbuckle in the bottom left side. It's where we also saw the glamour and the current women's world champion of AEW, Mariah May, came out there. And she even said that Jamie Hayter kind of reminds her of Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Which that had me dying with laughter. I was like, she really do, because her orange hair, like she looked like another female wrestler to have orange hair, except she's Irish rather than being New Zealand. But this is where then we got Jamie Hayter started hitting some axe handles right onto the back, onto the top corner ropes. This is where we got but this is where we got Nyla Rose and took a page out of Nia Jackson's playbook, and this is where it's like I'm gonna do like another big dominant women's wrestler that's in the other company that has her name starts with the letter N, just like me. And this is where she's like, and I'm gonna be exactly like her. This is where she hits a Hurricane Rana, which is probably definitely gonna be some comparisons today on the IWC, which I'm gonna see for myself. But this is where we got Jamie Hayter to go for a crossbody onto Nyla Rose. This is where then we got but this is where we got Mariah May's like already beat Nyla Rose, so she's definitely not a threat. Like she can even beat the other women's champion that has a 3M initial on her name as well. And this is where then, and I'm starting to sound like Nigel McGuinness rather than I do with Mariah May with her in imitation. Maybe it's because I'm a guy rather than a girl. It's still hard to do it. But this is where we got. That's where we got Jamie Hayter and Willow the Pillow was spinning around. To like, since I cannot fight your friend, maybe I could get a win out of you, like the bestie of the DMD. This is where Jamie Hayter, I did kind of reminded her she's no longer friends with her, like due to some backstage disagreements. She is like which that's the actual that's the part that's the real reason and the true reason that's been speculated on the internet. But this is where we got Soraya and what's her name? Soraya and Harley Cameron attacked them from behind, started beating them up. Of course, they would do that way when they have their back turned because they're cowardly heels. That's where we got Will. But despite that, is where Will the Pillow started hitting some punches right onto the midsection, onto Soraya, saying, "You're not gonna take me down for good." This is where we got. This is where they started hitting some forearms onto the girls. This is where, luckily, Nyla Rose was there to hit the crossbody onto them. This is where we got. This is where we got Mariah May tried to do like a halfway jaw-dropping reaction, like if she was the other women's champion. Like when the last time when the Pillow was in the number one contenders match in the fatal 4-way match. Like, and this is where I was like, nice try, but you cannot do what. Yeah, never mind. But this is where then we saw. But this is where we got Nyla Rose was in offense, like onto the game, onto I believe was Jamie Hayter or no. No, it was. No, he was doing some offensive work onto Soraya's assistant. What's her name? Harley Cameron. This is where then we got Jamie Hayter with a T, like finally got her hands onto Soraya, and she started tossing her around a bit onto Barry's tombstone in the bottom corner side. This is where then we got let's see. This is where Jamie Hayter then went face to face with Will the Pillow again. This is where they started playing some wrestling tennis right onto each. Like I believe that's. And I forgot to tell you that. What's her name? Willow Nightingale finally got Nyla Rose out of the ring. This is where she tried to hit the doctor bomb after they got done playing wrestling tennis. I believe the Pillow won, or else why was she was trying to go for the doctor bomb? But this is where Jamie Hayter counted out of it. This is where she hits her with the what's that like driving Willow Nightingale's back on her knee, hitting the Zealand curse, I guess you could call it. This weird, which that's an overrated wrestling comparison term. But this is where we got Willow Nightingale and hits a spine buster right onto Nyla Rose, and this is where both women were all down to the ground. Gee, I wonder which gal is gonna beat me. She was like, and like I said, honestly, like I hope I'm rooting for all the women in here because I have a night off, but I thought I might show up to work anyways. Like this is where she was like, I'd rather have my celebration. Like, and I wish Mina was here. Like, which is Mina Shirakawa, of course. Like the same girl that loves kissing her, even though she's like a big sister to her. I'm not sure what is up with that kind of relationship as a friend, but anyways, this is where we got. we got this is where we got Jamie Hayter in a forearm strike. This is where we got Willow. This is where she did the same with Willow when she tried to go for one of her own, but she was too not fast. Where she hit the elbow strike onto her. Jamie Hayter grabs onto to Nyla Rose, hits her face first right onto the turnbuckle, starts stomping onto her, hits the running elbow strike right into the face onto the Willow, the pillow, right into the upper right side. This is where she did the same in the bottom left side. This is where we got Jamie Hayter then throws her right onto Willow. This is where she goes for a double DDT onto the women. This is where it wasn't a double DDT. It was a double suplex. She picked them up like if she weighed like over 300 and I'll say 90 pounds, if not the full 400 pounds, because she just easily picked up both big girls like that probably weigh over 200 pounds, like way over 200 pounds, like how, like she just picks both of them up like without breaking a sweat or even without breaking a muscle. Yeah, that's where we got Saraya to try to hit her face with the chair, but this is where Jamie Hayter caught her right in the act. Grab onto the chair, she snatched it right back. She try to hit her, but this is where even for Saraya try to block her with her hands, this is where she still get hit in the head with the chair. This is where Jamie Hayter started hitting her back first with the chair repeatedly, like boom, 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 and this is where Jamie Hayter was like, "You want some more?" This is where she chased what's her name, Saraya with the chair in her hands. Or Jamie Hayter's like, "Come out, wherever you are." But this is where we got what's her name, Harley Cameron grab onto the chair like, "No, you don't." This is where Jamie Hayter's like, you shouldn't have done that. This is where she grabbed her by the back of her head. She tossed her back first right onto the barricade, right into the top corner. This is where we got Jamie Hayter start, what's that called? Like wiping her feet right off the chair that she was using onto Saraya. That Saraya tried to use on her. This is where, but what Jamie Hayter did not know that Saraya had a backup plan in case if any plans with what's her name, Harley Cameron, protecting her falls through for the 70th time. This is where then we got another fellow European women's wrestler coming out there like to help save the day. But I think she sacrificed her own health to make sure that Saraya does live to fight for another day. And also this particular European female wrestler, we haven't seen her in months, due to injuries, probably haven't seen her since last year. And it was none other than the returning Penelope Ford. And I was like, wow, when the last time we saw this girl? It's been months, if not a year. And that's where she gave an evil grin, and surprisingly, she did not have any black lipstick that you would normally wear. She looked like if she was staying at home, like if she had the day off and she was relaxing, you look like she was something like that, or walking down the street or going to a grocery store in her neighborhood or a restaurant even. But this is where Jamie Hayter This is where we got. That's where we got Mariah May hilariously said, "Get her, Daphne, get out of here," because she do look like Daphne from Scooby Doo. This is where this is where Will Nightingale. This is where Mariah May then said okay, one down, three more to go, and this is where then we got Nyla Rose to pick up Willow Nightingale, and the way she was grabbing her kind of seemed a little inappropriate. Just saying, the way I seen it, but it's where she slammed her immediately right afterwards. So she make sure that nobody don't see what she's doing, but too late. I already caught you in the act, Miss Rose, if that is your real name, like what Dutch Mantel would say. But anyway, this is where we got. But this is where we got But this is where then we got Soraya. Then so I try to come in and try to pull turn her around, but this is where she gets kicked right into the midsection. This is where we saw her hitting the swinging neck breaker. This is where Nyla Rose like, okay, I got both women down, and we don't have to worry about Jamie anymore. Like, I just need to find out who's I'm gonna pick. This is where the fans are chanting like, "We want table." This is where we got Nyla Rose was hilariously mocking them like with the claps. This is where then we got Mariah May that was doing the same, but with her words rather than her hands. She was like, "We want tables." Oh, that's so adorable, like or something like that. This is where we got and this is where then let's see. This is where she went up brought up on the top rope. But yeah, she went right up on top. But I believe this is where like Soraya like knocks him